Good afternoon. It is afternoon here, and I thought I would pop on to talk about why we should grow. It seems pretty common sense to me, but I think we need to kind of put it into perspective on why we should grow. I think having the ability to grow anything is such a superpower. To know where your food and your medicine comes from is such a superpower, and I can tell you within my own heart and in my own space, it has given me so much confidence, and I just feel equipped and beneficial to my own family and my community. And so if you've been part of my channel before, then you know that, I've mentioned this before, we come from humble beginnings and we didn't have a lot, and I would grow in my apartment on the deck, on the balcony, and then I would grow also in my townhome, inside and outside on this little slab of cement that we had. And now we are in a home. We've been in there for almost 10 years, I think. In between 8 and 10, I don't know. And it's smaller. The backyard seems big to me, so I always say it's, I have a big space, but it isn't big when you think about the grand scheme, or like YouTube growers. I'm nowhere near that. I don't have acres of land. I don't even have an acre of land. I should look up the square feet footage that I do have, but I don't know offhand. But what I can tell you is I've had a slow grow. Like, I've progressed in my growing, and the health of the soil is the health of the plants, which is the health of the person. And I always am looking on how to improve my soil, making sure that there's healthy nutrients, them microorganisms that live in there, them same bacteria that live in the ground and the dirt and the soil also live in your gut. So then there's that sacred circle that works, right? And so I used to just direct sow because I knew nothing about starting seeds inside. And mind you, I do get my medicines from harvesting native plants that my people have harvested for, since time beginning. And so that's where my medicine comes from. But my food, learning them seeds and learning them methods and routines about growing, that was passed down to me from my grandma, who is a phenomenal cook and has cooked for our community and was a chef in multiple restaurants. And so she's always taught me how to cook. Most of my memories of my grandma were either outside in the garden harvesting, or harvesting in wooded areas, and then also in the kitchen. Like, our time together around storytelling was me peeling carrots or peeling potatoes or whatever it is, cleaning the chicken and all of that. So I've always been around plants, and I've always been around food as medicine, and really gained that respect. So, but I will say that growing the plants from seed indoors was totally new to me, and so I didn't do that, and when I started to do that, I started to move the plants around to where the sun was at, and learned year by year and season by season how to do that. I love learning through my own experience. I am not a follow the directions on paper type of gal. I learn better when someone shows me, and I also love learning. I don't as much like Googling. I know people love Googling, and there's nothing wrong with Googling, but I don't need to have all the answers. I like learning the answers on my own. And so from my own experience, and that is through failure. And just a little side note, that's so beneficial for us as humans to learn by failure. And then you look at failure differently. You look at success differently, all in things. So that's a whole different conversation, but I will say that I learned, how the plants wanted to be treated and how they wanted to be tended to, and how each plant was different, just like us as humans. And I think that's like the baseline of where you start. So it doesn't have to be full throttle into this whole garden space. People get so overwhelmed with thinking that they need all this space. You don't. You need to learn a couple seeds and a couple plants and how to tend to them and how to be in good relation with them, and then grow from there. So, my garden is not rows and rows of the finest vegetables. It is madness, wild madness too. I love that about my garden. And so, have grace upon yourself when you're doing this, and just learn, if you're in a small space, find a window, find a little container, a little cup. Facebook Marketplace is a great space to borrow. And now on Facebook, they have these buy nothing groups, which is super cool, I didn't know about them when I first started. And so I think, and teach your young people around you how to grow medicine and food. I mean, it's just, we're at a time where prices are skyrocketing. And, I remember we used to go to the grocery store like once a week to try to, maintain, and it was just so expensive. And now we go to Costco like probably once every few months, and we stock up on things we need to make meals from scratch, and not just, I'm not cooking every day from scratch. Don't get me wrong there. I'm not like this. That's an ideal world, but that's not how I live. But I try my best, and that's all you can do. I'm sorry if it's loud. I'm in my store, and there's people walking out. But yeah, I just want to give you the encouraging little tips to get it done, and to just jump out, right, and do them things, and keep a moon journal. Okay, this is one of my moon journals. I have a really beautiful, pretty one that I made myself, a journal I made, but I don't always keep it with me because I'm very particular about where it goes. I always keep it in my house. It never comes outside of my house because it has very sacred things to my culture and my family in it. But I do have random ones that I take around. So I write all day, every day. It seems like that. I write in the morning all the time, in the evening all the time. During the day, I find myself jotting down little notes about how the earth is growing and how the water is doing and all of that. So there's always a book around me somewhere, And at first, I remember when I started journaling when I was younger, I was gifted a journal for my moon journaling for our culture. And I loved that journal, and I wanted to take it everywhere. But then I'm like, it can't go everywhere with me. And I wanted this fancy pen that was just going to make all of my writing beautiful. And I'm so far in the writing game that anything, if there's a pencil and it's just a little nub of nothing, I still write with it. I just write when I can with what I can. So, all that to say, 8 minutes in this video, and I just am trying to tell you, please start. Just start. It is so healing to do that, to write. Even if you start out writing about one thing and it leads into this whole other story or a memory or whatever that might be, just start writing down and trying to garden. You will not be mad that you did that. You will never regret that. It will always lead you to somewhere amazing, I promise you. And I think it actually teaches you how to dream, because you start from a seed that seems lifeless, but with all of these other all of creator's gifts, the sun and the soil and the water, all of these things come together, and with your intention to grow something, that seed sprouts and comes alive. And that teaches you that the seeds that you think up and dream up from your heart and your intention, they come alive, and you get to harvest them later. And so all that love you put into that manifests itself into something beautiful that can strengthen you and heal you from within. And I think if there's any message I will ever teach to my grandchildren that watch this someday, hopefully, it is that the believing in yourself is part of your medicine, and that comes from jumping in and not having a laid out plan. Plans are good. Tentative plans are good, but that initial just belief in yourself ripples into a deeper relationship with yourself, Creator, the earth that you're living in around you. You know, we're all in the womb of Mother Earth. Love her. Love this womb that you're in. It's a space of creation and universal love. So, yeah. Okay. I should probably get back to work because I have a lot of things to do, a lot of emails and writing in my favorite book. So, I will see you again, friends. And please, I believe in you, so please believe in yourself. Dokshta, okay? See you again.